Oh, Johnny. So excited! So excited to be talking with Johnny. We've gotten to know him pretty well. So
I wish he had more energy, though.
Well, the AI texting, I do have to say, got enabled yesterday, and I talked to Sarah, my Filipina virtual assistant, to prepare her, and she is so excited.
Good. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
So look, Johnny, our relationship, friendship that we have started off kind of unique. You came at me a little. I mean, you were kind, but you were pretty like the sky's falling. And so, as I recall it, you were about 4 months into using the product, and there was a breaking point. Am I summarizing the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about that.
So I would say around summer of last year, chasing leads. It's, and I had just got divorced 2 years before that. So I'm getting back into this whole, they all kind of intertwine into this weird love thing. And it's like, with these leads, I just kept getting them.
Yeah, and so you were struggling, and what did you message me when you were struggling? And what did we talk about?
I am struggling to connect with the people that I have in my database already.
Right. And you were thinking about doing what?
I don't know. What was I thinking?
I
forgot.
So, okay.
No. Sorry. A little nervous moment, but yeah.
It's okay. It's all right. So you messaged me and said, hey, Barry, I'm struggling. I'm not sure if Ylopo makes sense for me.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then from there, I reached out. We set up a Zoom call, right? And when I was talking to you, I noticed that you had about 50 people. And, do you remember that conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when it came to the nurturing, Barry made it very clear. He said, stop going outside, stop worrying about the external resources and leads that you have, and start, harnessing what's here, like what's in your database and what's in your nurtures. And so that really, light bulb moment for me.
Right,
so,
yeah, and so basically what I found when I was looking at his CRM is he had about 40 or 50 people that he had spoken with, and he hadn't met with any of them. And he was just constantly converting new leads. And so I said to you, you just need to obsess about those 50 people. And so what we're about to do is, now after that time, he was 4 months in, hadn't sold any Ylopo deals. Now, 1.5 million sold, another 3 million, I think you just told me, under contract with, and so a lot of sales. It basically took him 4 months. So basically 4 months in, he's doing nothing. 8 months in, he's got millions either closed or pending, right? And so what I decided to do was, that's unusual. To pivot that quickly and make such a substantive change is a unique character trait. So what we asked Johnny to do with the following slides that you're gonna see is, as a business owner, a solo agent, how did he do it? What things did he decide to focus on? And how did he focus on them? He likes to call it, what do you call this zone that you...
The love zone?
That's him, yeah. Johnny Apple in the love zone. So let's go to...
Yeah, it's...
No,
I love
that's
it.
great.
Why didn't we cue up some music for like some fun music?
I did have a love zone. There's a song, it's a love zone song. I didn't send it.
So this screen's pretty overwhelming. And I remember when you sent it to us, the point is not for you to be able to read what's on the screen. Tell us, who did you send this to and why?
So I sent it to Sarah, and I had 2 other VAs at the time in the Philippines. Sarah actually does everything now, but this was just a SOP of exactly what to do, how to fully obsess, how to fully understand exactly what is going on with a lead from the tags. It's hard to see here, but like from the tags alone tell a story of their own. Like, on some of these it says active mailer. Like, it's really helping us understand that, oh yeah, we have a postcard that's sent out to them. So that's one more thing that we could do to try to, engage conversations with. But yeah.
So basically, if I was to oversimplify this, you're sending this image to your staff and saying, here's the many data points that you want to obsess about as a person doing the follow-up. Is that
Correct.
fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So from your perspective, if just shooting from the hip, when you look at this screen, you brought up tags already. Are there any other areas that you can point to say, hey, this data is important and why?
Well, we use background. That's going to come up in another slide, so I won't go into that. But extremely important is background. What else do we have here? Let me see.
Why hot list is important?
Yeah, well, obviously the stages. I mean, we go down the list. I say go down left to right. go down, see what's going on.
Okay.
And so we have a lot of custom fields as well that we're really, really letting them know that, like, you know, this is where this lead is in the love zone right now. And so
what are some of those custom fields? I just want to kind of think, because I know when you're talking about it, there are just things that you obsess on, or you want your assistants to
You
obsess
can just
on.
say
just put a love on
categorically
them.
what the fields are.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, I think the biggest one that we have is, can I go into it? Like the FUB sum is what I call it, and it's its own field that has a link to its own ChatGPT message, like chat that's going on. And so I've already uploaded all the contracts, everything into this one chat GPT. And so anytime a lead or anytime Sarah has a question, she can go in and click that link and go in and just talk to ChatGPT. What's going on with this? Like, what is the interest? What are we listing at? Who's the contact that I should reach? So it has everything within that one GPT link.
so that helps with what, transaction management?
Yeah, transaction management, but not only that, just how to communicate. How have we communicated?
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So go to the next. I think the next screen or next slide. You've got these are your smart lists. So you're using collections, as Tiffany taught about yesterday. And why are these lists important to you, and how are they helping your business?
Well, I mean, it's the standard hot, warm, cold, nurture or future. But, you know, we really have taken it to the next level. We've added the red hot, which is like the needy stage. And that goes at the very top. Like, that's a 7-day length of time that they could be in there. And there's an automation that gets shut off. And so when something happens, if someone needs a home search, if someone needs this, that, we'll throw it up into that red hot. We know that that's something that we need to address within 7 days. And then if it does go past the 7 days, it'll shoot off an automation to create a task saying, get rid of this guy now. It's time to move them to the appropriate stage. But overall, you know, you've got it's all about how are you communicating to these people? Like, how much do they mean to you? And for us, it's, you know, it starts at, okay, you swipe right, you see what's going on. You know, they might enter the future field, the future stage, which is that past the year mark, you know, they don't know, they're not sure, is still trying to understand, like, what's the vibe between you and I? Like, what are we doing right now? And then,
Well, I'm curious. I want to break down a little bit because you've got all the smart lists right here, and you're like, and I put this one at the top. But like, why? I want those sitting out there understanding, because you built process here, and I just want to add a little bit more context. Why are you hitting that one first? Why is it at the top and in the order? Because I think that's important when people are trying to create, especially a solo agent, a process to get through things more efficiently. So why that one at the top versus
Which
something
one?
else?
Sorry,
the red hot.
Okay, so red hot, I mean, that is, you know, well, it's actually kind of weird too, because I put contact above that just to make it easier. But red hot is where it all starts, because these are temporary little places. It's like a holding tank. And it's like, I you know, I kind of want to figure out what's going on. They said, you know, let me think really quick. How can I do this? They grabbed my arm in the hallway, and now I'm like, wait, what are we going to do here? Do we want to pursue this? Do we want to figure out, you know, they asked for a home search. Is this just kind of a joke, or have they given us their story? Because no one gets into this the love zone without understanding, like, their story, like who they are. And so that's the main way that, like, you go from lead to, you know, our.
So it's more of a follow-up.
Yeah.
So not a prospect. This is more of a follow-up. Somebody I spoke to, I have their story.
Yeah.
We're almost like
We
going to your
understand what's
analogy,
going on.
almost dating.
Their
like type
action,
thing.
they have an action that we need to help them.
So just let's pause for a second. We were very intentional about this story. Here's a guy not making money. I say obsess about these 50 people that you already spoke to. You got the right name, right email, some kind of intent to move, right? All he was doing was like speed dating, right? New lead, new lead, new lead, new lead, new lead, turn and burn, turn and burn. He hears me say this, and now you hear this, like, he's got this whole analogy of the love zone, right? He's changed his smart list and categorized and triaged the relationships in a way that makes sense for you, so that you can focus on the people that are most likely to transact. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, nurturing those people. Go to the next slide, because you've got some templates here without, you know, like, and I only took a part of these. There's like 10 or 15 there. High level, what are you using text templates for in your business right now?
Well, you know, you think you want to keep it as personal as possible.
Yeah.
You know, but at one point I had 3 VAs, and these were coming up a lot. And so I'm using these. We've got our 3-time home views. every one of the Ylopo alerts.
Basically, you have a text template for every priority alert.
Yeah.
Now, why is it important for you to have a custom message for a priority alert? Like, why as a business owner does that make sense for you?
Yeah, I
your
want to
time?
meet them where they're at. Like, we're trying to build a relationship here. Like, it's kind of important to understand exactly what's going on, because I wasn't doing that before. I was using a lead as I got a big database. And so I was using a lead almost like a number, just numbers out there. And now we've built automations to, hone in on each one of these people as they do come in, because, I want a serious relationship here,
Well, and this is very
that's hot.
similar to Ivan's story yesterday. You notice the theme. These individual business owners, these agents just trying to make it happen, are saying, I'm obsessing about the leads engagement on my website. I'm communicating in a way that the other person makes sense. There's a theme here.
There is a theme, and I wanted to hit on that too, because the idea is everybody going to create the love zone? No, I think it's fun. Is everybody going to create, going back to Ivan, the blueprint, right? He was talking about, I'm creating a blueprint, or the lead has created one, I'm identifying this blueprint. I think the theme here, the similarity is, because you're a solo agent, right, and we want to make sure we're giving you guys ideas and helping you out, the downside is you're not on a team that already has the smart list, that already have the SOPs, that already have it in place, so you had to create it. Ivan, he's on a team, but he's creating his version of that. And we're trying to give you ideas. What can you do to go in and create your process? What are you going to obsess about, as Barry was talking about, to get to that next zone, to get to that next step? Whether it's hiring VAs, whether it's smart lists. The text template, I think it's genius that you did this. Most don't, because it's the same priority alerts coming over and over and over, but yet agents are typing the same messages over and over and over. Why are we not creating templates? Why are you not creating your voice that's easy to replicate, because you are wearing all these hats?
So let's get to the next slide. So we've got about just a few minutes, so we're gonna have to summarize this. This is a screen of a lead named Jimmy. And I want you to give me a ChatGPT summary of why is this screen important?
Well, it showed how, this is one of the first, I was doing a little bit of engagement towards this guy because he had so much, I think there was like 224 views or something on these, it's wild.
So he was looking at a lot of houses and some of them over and over.
Yeah, and so Sarah and I were like, this guy's just a spammer. He keeps popping up, 8 here, 8 here. So we keep engaging. I send out a push listing. I send out market trends. I'm really engaging with him at another level, even though it feels fake. I'm still, and so I had called him. My ISA had called him. I finally called him. So this is just going over all of the wide priority alerts. Wait a minute. Sorry, I just want to see. This is important because as, I'm texting him, every time I send an email, I send a push listing, I send a text afterwards. We're obsessing about Jimmy Hackett. Who the hell is Jimmy Hackett?
So you were push listing him after he was engaging the website. And how long did this go on for?
All the way till like October. It was in October.
So how many months? 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months.
So 6 months. The guy's engaging your site. You're sending push listings.
Yeah.
So now he's alive. Tell us about that.
He's alive. So we have Sarah here. She's sending out notes. Please call ASAP. And then 31 times, and I was like, this is bullshit. I'm gonna call this guy. This is ridiculous. I called him. I had a 9-minute conversation with him. And so, it's wild to know that, this is not applicable to everybody because we all have big databases, but I'm gonna go in hypersensitive to these smaller moments.
Yeah.
You
have to have the right identifiers to know when someone's hot.
Yeah. I love that you created the system, and we got one more or another slide here we want to get through. But again, creating that system, obsessing about something, but looking at the activity, obsess over the active. Don't obsess. He's not, as we did this, we can't go deep. He's not obsessing over every person in there. It's the active. It's the ones that are going into these categories. We need to. Somebody asked me last night, what do I need to do? Keep it simple, but be consistent. Obsess about the right things.
Right. All right. And then you said
Last
be creative.
thing really quick. What we did was we made an inbox that actually brings in all of our Ylopo alerts so we can segment them out into high and urgents.
I think this is a nugget. I'd be writing this down.
Yeah, this is good.
So how did you do it again? You took the Ylopo, you created an inbox number.
Yep. And then we actually made a contact. And if you go on the Ylopo Zendesk or whatever, you'll see what those numbers are when an urgent's going to send a message out. And so we made that into an actual contact. If you click Are they there?
Yeah, they're there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you can see all of the things, so it's always burned in like history. It's always there. You're never going to lose it.
So basically, you've repurposed the text message back into FUB.
Yep.
Yeah.
So real quick, I'm curious. Solo agents, who in the room? Raise your hand. Solo agents. Keep your hand up if you've created custom inboxes in FUB.
That's something you should learn.
Not many. That would be on my list as a solo agent. Okay, here's another tool that's at
It's
my
a phone
disposal.
number. Yep. And you can send data into that phone number, right? And he's sending the Ylopo text. Did you tell Ylopo to text the inbox number? Is that
Yeah,
what
we
you-
called Ylopo and said, hey, this is our number. We made a number in FUB so that it would call that number, and then it hits our Slack and all these automations.
Don't worry about the Slack part, but basically,
Oh, God.
the
I could go on forever.
Well, that's like master. We're on bachelor's level right now.
Yeah,
we'll do
yeah,
masters
sorry,
another
yeah,
session.
let's go back.
So okay, we're running out of time. So lead audits quickly. Go to the next slide.
Oh, yeah.
You're not letting the people go. What is the case?
Every week we do like a lead audit. I got it from Chris, with office hours, and I don't know. It's just every week Sarah goes through and looks at our whole hot, warm, and cold, our love zone, and she says, "Do they deserve to be there? Have they given us the love that we need so we could give it back to them?" And so we downgrade them. We're like, no, I broke up with Tiffany. She's going down to C or cold. Just like those mindsets of, do they deserve to be there? And so we're always auditing.
It's your 130. You audit the relationship every week. All right, honest moment. Show of hands if you're not doing that. Go to your next one real quick.
Oh.
A lot, over half, are not auditing their leads every week and the relationships. It's really more simple than I think we let it on. So go ahead. You obsess about the tags, the background, and the activity. But I know that you've got one of the leads that closed sent a testimonial video about the relationship. His first video was the relationship with you has gotten so great. We're not going to share that one. He basically roasted Johnny.
He called me a cokehead.
Okay,
It's not true.
All right, so go to the next. Go to the next.
Alcoholic.
Video. Click the button.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Wait, 2 seconds, really quick, the background. Guys, use background. Open your phone, it's right there. It's the easiest way to keep track. So,
All right.
there we go.
My experience with Johnny Apple has been great. From day one, we hit it off, just hanging out, kind of talking life lessons, fun stuff. And since then, after the purchase of our new home, we've stayed friends. We have had some deep conversations. He's a very genuine person. I believe he is a friend of mine, and he will be a friend of mine for a long time.
That love zone is
We've
working,
had a great
guys.
time through this experience on selling the house.
Is he in bed?
He calls me every
and
morning at
buying
5
the new
a.m.
house.
Every morning at 5 a.m. And we talk for like 30
That's
minutes.
amazing.
So.
All right, and if you want to stay in touch with Johnny, here's his Instagram handle. Let's give him a round of applause.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Guys.